let's start with something that we haven't talked about in a long time, which is real estate. Um, so it's been, I don't know if everybody has been following, but I'm a rattle off some disturbing statistics. One in three Manhattan condos sold in the past year for a loss. 33% of the condos sold in Manhattan over the last year sold for a loss.
Okay.
Home delistings jumped 28% year over year, the biggest spike in a decade. About 57% of all homes sold this year had at least one price cut. Home values in top tier metro areas are down 2.5% year over year. The typical price cut is now 3.7 below asking price. Homes now sit an average of 73 days on the market. That's up 20%. Nearly 70% of active listings are sale 60 plus days unsold. 5.5% of listings were withdrawn in September, highest in at least a decade. Over 2.7% of US homes changed owners this year. Lowest turnover since the 1990s, and US home prices are up only 1.3% year over year, meaning appreciation has stalled. So maybe we can get MG the mortgage guy on here before the end of the year. But
that'd be great.
Very
But
disturbing.
with that being said, you still love real estate, don't you, Rashad?
100%. 100%. But extremely disturbing stats when it comes to American real estate.
Mhm.
But what does that say about the times that we're in?
There's a readjustment in the market, but even though while there's a readjustment in the market, home prices are only going to continue to go up. I was talking to Ish about this on the way here, and 5 years ago in Houston, you can probably get 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom for $500 to $700,000. Those same properties are now going for 1.2, and the inflation hasn't been as high here as in comparison to Miami and New York. It would be a mistake to wait another 5 or 6 or 7 years to buy something because the value is going to go up. Are we stalling? Yes. Is money slowing down? Yes, but over time, as with any good investment, the value of the property is going to go up.
But I also think it speaks to something that the people can't afford to buy a home.
I think that was the point I was going to touch on.
So that's
the affordability of it.
That says a lot about the economy, right? As far as I think this says a lot about a variety of different things, bigger than just real estate. Inflation.
Well, BlackRock. Let's be very honest.
Well, it's inflation. They've caused inflation.
They've caused inflation.
Inflation. You got inflation. You got staggering wages.
For sure.
You have staggering levels of net worth.
Mm-hmm.
Interest rates rose.
Interest rates. But that all goes into the fact that people can't afford to buy houses.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't afford to buy houses, that's a trickle-down effect on a variety of different things that you should be seeing maybe potentially soon in the economy, because we're still in a K-shaped economy right now. Your Black Friday spending was at all-time highs. But still feel like a large portion of this spending is getting done by the wealthy people, not by the average everyday person.
And on credit cards for those who are doing, like, we're record debt levels. They're thinking that's going to go up another 2% before year ends, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think when we talk about statistics, they're always laggard. And so by the time we see these things, it'll probably be like mid 26, maybe late 26, when we actually see the actual numbers that this quarter actually did. And that's just how we have to look at it. But yeah, I think the affordability part is one of those things that we have to really take into account. Like, for an average person, and we looked at those median incomes that you sent earlier, Ian, the average person to afford a down payment, that takes a lot, right? That takes a lot of the savings. When you talk about interest rates rising, can they now, even if they have the down payment, can they commit to having this amount per month to dedicate for a 30-year mortgage in a fixed rate? You know, some people are doing adjustment rates. They're trying to get a 50-year rate mortgage now. So all these things go into account. But the other part of it is that people aren't selling homes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But they're also not selling because they can't afford to buy a new one. But also it speaks to...
Don't leave that point.
No, it's a fact. You
talk about that for a second.
Yeah. I mean, if you sell a home, 9 times out of 10, you're selling it because you want to buy a new home. But now you look at it like, I might as well just and their interest rate.
Mhm.
If they got good interest rates, they're like, I'm not going
2019, 2020.
Yeah, so imagine the people in the pandemic that were down at 2.75,
Or even
2.8,
3.5.
2.9.
Yep.
Right. Like, why would I get a new home or refinance at a 7% interest rate? I'll just stay in the 2.
Then y'all keep playing this game with nobody coming into the country. Is hurting the American economy, and it's only going to get worse. Even on the high end, it was what they were saying. You know, all of those apartments in Manhattan, those get purchased in cash for the most part, and a lot of it is overseas investors. Now they're like overseas investors. They still come to America, but they're not as enthusiastic. They go to Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw a report on that. The amount of billionaires that have taken residency in Dubai
And millionaires
is outpacing New York, which has always been the hub for capitalism and for wealth. We had Silicon Valley on the West Coast. We had New York here, and now Dubai has become, I don't even want to call it emerging. It has emerged.
for sure.
It's here.
Yeah.
Somebody said, why Dubai? No taxes, quality of life through the roof, no crime. No police sirens, no littering, no trash,
no poverty. It's just
endless business flow. And I know some people say it has no culture, but if you have family there, there's a lot of familiar culture around there. Like, I travel to a lot of cities. Most cities don't have a vibrant family structure or just families getting along. That's there. Thriving business community. That's what America was in the 1950s. I keep saying it over and over again.
All right. What about the real estate? What about the trading tip of the week? What's the trading tip of the week?
For my futures traders, I want to be very honest and say I want you guys to have less fear and more kahunas. The thing I do love about the options market is that people who just started options trading, they're like 8 contracts. And they're going to hold. Meanwhile, futures traders play it too small. So a target that I love is 33 contracts. Go for 42 ticks on the S&P 500. That's a little bit over 10 points. That should put you like over 17 grand per trade. And if you get 2 or 3 of those in a month, you'll be A-okay. But the lesson for this week, you have to learn when to put on size. You can't play the 1 to 4 contract game forever, because you're going to miss your window of actually making real money that can change your life, that you can then put into the market or buy an amazing property like Rashad did on a discount. You have to have enough cash flow to be able to do so. So 33 contracts is a target I love. Go for 42 ticks. You'll be at 17 and some change per trade. Do that 3 times a month and you'll be okay. But have some balls to trade.
Have some kahunas. I'm with you.
You do.
I'm all about the mitigated risk, but yeah, having 2 contracts go to 1,000% sucks when you could have had like 5, right? It just, but you have to have, you got to have the capital. I just want to add to this because I've been having conversations with people, especially since the last options class, about emotional intelligence. I feel like that's overall the theme that has just been coming back into my conversations is the emotional intelligence in life that's necessary, right? To navigate through the world, to navigate through relationships, to navigate through business, you need to have it. Investing it's also needed, right? So like when we have volatility like we did 2 weeks ago, like how are you reacting to that? Like how do you feel when you see your account go down? Right? It draws down because the entire stock market went down. Are you moving? Right? Are you budging? Are you selling? Like a lot of people some people, I shouldn't say a lot, some people will sell. Some people will say, oh, we've been here before. Some people, this is their first time. And they're like, hey, there's no way to start my investing journey. Right, but this is why we always talk about long term. This is always why we talk about buy time, because when you buy time, you're buying into it, the volatility of the market. You can't control that. We had this conversation the other day. I'm like, yo, we made an investment. I'm like, look, we got time. We got some time on our hands.
You have
right?
time on your side.
It's a strong company. We got to really believe in the company, believe in the research. It's like have emotional discipline, but when you do your research, have conviction in it. Trust what you did. Trust what you did, and even if there's a drawdown or it hits that threshold, remember you had your plan, right? If it was 20%, 30%, 40%, I know some people 50%. All right. Well,
get out and get back in.
Get back, and there'll be another opportunity if you believe in that company, if you trust the research that you've done, have conviction, but have the emotional intelligence to say, you know what? I understand what this feels like. Because the day that you run up 60%, you should feel the same exact way.
Be happy. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
It should be even keeled. Have your seatbelt on. Trust the research. Trust what you're doing, and just be patient.
And on the future side, like 33 contracts for NASDAQ is 33,000. ES is 16,500. I'm not saying it's a small chunk of change, but I know some people who are doing $100,000 elsewhere and getting 9%. And it's like, if you're able to get 200 to 400% inside of a trade or two, at some point, know when to put on risk. If you have your, you have to have your long-term portfolio set up first.
Yeah.
And even with this drop that's happened, if you've bought in March, in April, and last year, you should still be up a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
Now you can put on some risk. And if the market's falling to the downside and you're shorting, you should be up even more. Stick to your game plan.
You
That's
like to short the market?
Hell yeah. When it's falling. And it's a great lesson. Only short when the market is falling and go long when it's going up. That's why I say you have to obey direction.
Yeah.
Look at that month, week, then day, obey it. Always. But when the market is falling, the market is going to fall faster than it can rise.
Right.
You got to take advantage of it.
I'm just not only in futures is for sure. I'm just never. I've never been a big put guy.
It's probably not worth the risk, but the futures market is evenly weighted.
Right.
Because they only care about the transaction and liquidity inside of it. So you're getting in and out inside of a day anyway.
Yeah.
So you're just playing the true direction.
Yes, what I say in the futures market, it makes a lot of sense. It's I just don't have the.
There's limited upside.
We move around so much, and like I said, volatility happens. And if people do that, great. You can make money both ways, right? When the market goes up, you can make it on calls, you can make it on puts on the way down.
Yep.
Great. If you're skilled at that, great. If that's your strategy, great. I just never have been big on it.
There's no reason to go short an asset that normally goes long. Michael Burry, I love you dearly. Great Substack, but there's no reason to continually short an asset that goes up in perpetuity.
Yeah.